It's not easy to get a result of this sort when we were clearly the more dominating team. In fact, Liverpool had enough chances in the first half, and even in the second, I think we dominated the possession. We moved the ball really well. We knocked it around really well across the midfield. Given the dynamics, I think towards the end of the game for sure, I think Aston Villa upped their tempo a lot. I think a couple of crucial substitutions that came their way with Donny Mullen, again, the acquisition from Dortmund. I think he was really immense. In fact, I think overall in their game, I think Donny Mullen created the number of chances that no one else could on that pitch. Even though Rashford and Morgan Rogers were really ferocious, they were really dangerous in certain transitions. But overall, I think we need to have some compassion. We need to keep the same energy that we have kept throughout the season. I think, regardless of the result, I think the performance given in by the lads was immense. There's one major factor, one major reason why I feel this sort of a performance came into existence. Liverpool were clearly struggling in maintaining their energy levels. There was a clear factor of lethargy. They were leggy in major phases of the game. Even in the first half, I noticed our midfielders, Soboslai, Gravenberch specifically, they couldn't maintain that intensity. They couldn't maintain that cover when we needed to instill a bit of counter press. I think they struggled in that facet massively, right? Liverpool, even though they had the momentum throughout the game, we were pushing in majorly. We were pushing in our numbers ahead. Salah, as usual, targeting the byline. The only one facet, the only one difference brought in this game was we didn't have a left winger who could stretch the right back out, right? Garcia, I think, again, gifted a stupendous goal, which I'm really grateful for. We opened the scoring gates. But we did not have a winger on the left who could stretch them out, right? Despite that limitation, right, despite giving rest to Luis Diaz, great man management from Arne Slot, he still went in with this risk. I think I was pretty impressed with the fact that Curtis Jones, Soboslai, Salah, McAllister, Jota, initially they were so creative, they were really dynamic, and they were resorting to quick passes to break their lines, right? Now, in a situation when you have Jota, Jones, Soboslai, Salah up ahead, right? Now, in order to create a cover, the team needs to be resilient enough, right? They need to ensure they are able to get back into the shape that they were in, a 4-4-2 off the ball, 4-4-2 on the ball. Um, it was tough for us, especially with the formation that Unai Emery went in with, right? A 4-2-3-1. Asensio was the major culprit for me. In fact, he was adding on to that extra man's presence in the midfield. The logical reasoning behind this is we didn't have a left wing, they didn't have a proper out and out right winger, but they were using Garcia, similar to what we were doing, pushing Robertson ahead. And this is a prediction I made in the starting off before the game. Robertson would be acting as that left wing back, who would be surging ahead, would be going at the back. And I knew this game is going to be open, right? Given that we didn't have the intensity, right? The consistency and going back and being resilient in creating a cover. Even our pressing in certain phases was a miss. And particularly, I think Rashford enjoyed a field day against the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold, even though I think Trent was immense in certain phases. I think he was at least consistent in dispersing the balls out. He was connecting well with the ball. But I still feel Trent had a supremely average performance. I think Rashford got the better of him in so many phases. He got past him, went in behind. Only the final product was missing from his end. Now, we've hit a conundrum in a way, right? And this is what I feared the most. The results are going to get affected if we are gassed. We were totally gassed. Not just in the second half, even in the first, I could see the moment we lose the ball ahead, our numbers are pushed ahead. We have a Gravenberch and a McAllister only, the lone pivot, who are manning that midfield, right? They struggled in closing the spaces down. And with the pace that Asensio, Rashford, Rogers and Garcia, man, what they offered was just scintillating stuff in the middle, right? They were able to slice through us. Now, thanks to the likes of Konate, I think Konate had an immense game. Even Virgil van Dijk, I don't know why FootMob has given him such an abysmal rating, but I think even Virgil van Dijk was quite decent. If you look at him, okay, Long ball capacity, not that much, 36% accuracy. But overall, I think with the interceptions, immense blocks, recoveries, defensive actions, he was immense for sure. I think he was right up there. For Robertson too, I think one of his good games in this fixture. I think his role of emulating a proper attacking fullback, emulating what he used to be. I think that came into existence with a couple of good crosses and passes provided. I think he was the one who was providing us that width. But the problem with that is the space at the back. They had acres of land to attack, right? So it became an open game in major phases. And though, I think I'm gonna come down to that. I know the major problem with our squad, even though this is just the performance that I'm talking about, right? The shots that we missed, that's what really worries me. And that's what is really concerning because we could have literally buried them before the first half. Soboslai missed a crucial opportunity, even though Curtis Jones, again, brilliant press baiting, provided a key pass, a good assist into the box, right? Something which could have been an assist. Soboslai, again, the moment he retrieved the ball, the moment he got on the ball, I think Martinez already closed him down, right? So not much that he could do in that situation, right? Barring flicking the ball. And then in the second half too, right? Soboslai was clear. He decided to square the ball to Darwin, and Darwin, as usual, missed it totally. Just skied the ball. Like in that situation, Soboslai had the defenders, Disasi at the back, and he had Martinez, who was still like 5-6 yards away from him. He could have totally chipped. He could have chipped. He could have put the ball up ahead, right? He could have done something. He could have totally buried it. Even if he should have taken that risk, in my opinion. Darwin is someone who's not starting for us consistently, and in this game, to be honest, I think since the last 2-3 fixtures, I've been seeing him again. I mean, off the ball work rate is one thing, but then you cannot be missing your chances. I think, which is why we really need to go out in the summer transfer window and get another striker. I want Jota to stay with the team. I want him to remain fit. But Darwin, we need to sell him. We need to bring in a striker. I think I have backed him up enough. And it is really disheartening to say this, but again, I am holding the same energy as I always did. But this is a rational, this is a logical reasoning. We've seen Darwin, he's been struggling with the goal scoring opportunities. He needs to go for sure in the summer transfer window. Mohamed Salah, immaculate decision making, immaculate key passes, a brilliant goal, a brilliant assist. Overall, was superb. Right. Overall, well-rounded, superb, gave Dine a run for his buck. Was a constant problem for Mings, Disasi. I think they were really nervous. They were really unsettled throughout the game, which is good. Again, the momentum was with us. The intensity was there in the attacking forwards. But the moment we'd lose the ball, the counter press was missing. Again, it looked like we weren't as bad as Man United, but still, we had plenty of space to offer them, and they attacked those spaces really well. Again, McAllister saved us so many times in the first half too. And in the second half, I could see that Gravenberch was struggling with the intensity, even though he played the entirety, the per 90, even though he played the entire 90 minutes. But man, we could have avoided the first goal as well. The first goal that they scored, we could have easily avoided it. Now a situation where set pieces were being taken by Aston Villa on a consecutive basis, there was no option. Aston Villa were clearly more fit than us. Aston Villa have pacier players than us. They have younger players than us. They've got a Rashford and an Asensio. They've got a Rashford and an Asensio who can literally torment defenses, right? I think Unai Emery played to the best of his interests, right? In this game, especially down in the run-in. Now, Aston Villa, even they would want a result out of this, right? It could have gone either way. Donny Marlin was immense. He was overlapping. He was getting in behind Robertson on a couple of occasions, and I think he was their best player in the second half for sure. The amount of key opportunities that he created, the chances that he created, which led to corners, it kept on building pressure on Liverpool, right? And we couldn't see the game out in the fashion that we would have wanted it to. Yeah, man. In totality, I think I'm disappointed that we couldn't get the result. But to be honest, I'm really happy with the performance that we gave. Barring the attacking third, I think overall, the boys gave it their all, man. They were totally gassed, and there's nothing that we can do. The only blame needs to go on the owners, Arne Slot. I've already made a video. I've already recorded a video on this, that we needed transfers in the giant transfer window. I don't care be it a panic buy. We need to replenish these players on the pitch, man. We should have brought in a winger. I was talking about this, and people were giving me a lot of fluff. Liverpool doesn't need anyone. Connor Bradley is injured now. Gakpo's out till the end of March. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do? Right? Injuries is a major factor which will prove a team's worth when it comes to resilience. Arsenal have played it to it. Arsenal have played it to it. Arsenal have lived up to it. What about Liverpool? What are we going to do in this situation now? Right? And, man, everyone, majorly, Curtis Jones, right, looked like he got a niggle. Right, Robertson was limping for a bit. Konate, Gravenberch, they were all limping for a bit. I could see it in different phases of the game. They were struggling. They were so leggy, and it has to come down to the fact that the congestion in fixtures, the run-in is so tough. Right, it is so. We are enduring a lot at this point in time, and my heart goes out to these players, man. They've done it. They've given it their all. They were so immaculate. They were so dynamic and so many good attacking transitions. We didn't even offer Aston Villa those many transitions in the attacking department in the first 70 minutes. But in the last 20 minutes, the moment Donny Malin came on, right, he totally revitalized their energy, right? Even though I felt a Rashford bringing him off wasn't the right decision, I think he could have given his entirety. But again, I think Unai Emery wanted to conserve his energy for the next game in the weekend. But I think Rashford, again, like I mentioned, he was tormenting Trent. And even though we couldn't really expose his weaknesses because there was no end product being offered, I still think, man, Dine, Rashford down that flank, the level of experience, right, the level of maturity that these guys have, man, they can torment oppositions. And I think Unai Emery, again, man, I respect both the coaches. I think our own coach, Arne Slot, is a tremendous manager. But yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is, right? And we need to be really careful now. We are facing Man City next. And I think even though Aston Villa have had a little hot and cold situation going on for them, similar to Man City, but I still think Man City, again, they lost the knockout. They're out of the Champions League now. The focus is entirely going to be on the Premier League, right? And we need to win that fixture.